Chair recognizes Ms. Greene from Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. O'Malley, under your tenure, the Social Security Administration failed to deliver for the American people. On November 8th of last year, your agency announced the Appointment Focused Service, AFS, which directs field offices nationwide to require nearly all services be scheduled by appointment at local offices. While the intent was to reduce in-person wait times, my constituents cannot get through the phone lines to even schedule an in-person appointment. In just the last week, nearly a dozen constituents have contacted my office complaining that when they called to schedule an appointment, they were placed on hold for hours, then ultimately routed to the voicemail where no one answered and no one called them back, and this has been going on and on and on. This is absolutely unacceptable. And the American people deserve to know the root cause of why this policy was implemented to begin with. The short answer is your telework policies. The AFS was put in place to reduce wait times, yet the only reason the wait times were so outrageous to begin with was because there weren't enough staff in the office to reduce the in-person wait times because your staff is at home, not working for the American people. It is reported that your local offices are only staffed at 20 to 30% on any given day. It's kind of hard to have in-person appointments when people are not at the office. No wonder wait times were so long. And you, Commissioner O'Malley, just signed an agreement to make that permanent for the next 4 years of President Trump's administration, which is more failure, but that's your fault. And by the way, Commissioner, I reached out to you last August. This is the letter that I sent to you, dated August 1st, 2024, requesting an in-person meeting with you to discuss some of the serious issues that my constituents in Northwest Georgia are constantly having. But you never responded to me, Mr. O'Malley. I never got a phone call. I never got a letter back. And that's clearly, maybe you were enjoying the telework policies yourself instead of doing the actual job. Or possibly it's because you were too busy drinking with the union members that you were negotiating with instead of negotiating against on behalf of the American people. Now, Mr. O'Malley, right before you resigned as Social Security Administrator, you signed an agreement with the American Federation of Government Employees on November 27th, 2024. Now, remember, 2 weeks before that, as I mentioned, you were partying with AFGE members in Florida, but you weren't interested in calling me back or were even bothering to return a letter when I wanted to talk to you about very serious issues that my constituents were having. You see, as Republicans, we fully support making sure that every single American receives their benefits from Social Security. You Democrats like to lie about us. We are going to make sure that every single person that paid in gets every single penny that they deserve, that they paid in, it will come out and back to them. That's what's important to us, actually working for the American people. Now, Mr. O'Malley, I'd like to ask you another question. Since you're very interested in being DNC chair, you are, after all, a lifelong Democrat politician. I don't even know if you had a job in the real world, but you have been an elected politician for years. Mr. O'Malley, you're also a Catholic, are you not? You're also a Catholic, are you not?
I am.
Do you serve God or do you serve the Democrat Party?
I serve God.
Okay, then Mr. O'Malley.
Mr. Chairman, as a Roman Catholic, I take offense at the suggestion that somebody has to choose between God and their service to country as a Catholic.
Mr. O'Malley, will you be supporting the murder of the unborn up until the day of birth like your party does? As DNC chair, will you be supporting the murder of innocent unborn people? Is that in line with your faith in God and the Catholic Church?
I trust the judgment of women and doctors over the judgment of government.
No, do you trust God's judgment? Do you trust God that he loves and has created every single human being? Do you support the murder of unborn children? And are you going to uphold that evil practice that the Democrat Party wants to continue. You see, abortions, over 95% of them are unintended pregnancies. They use abortions as birth control. So are you going to continue the birth control practice of murdering the unborn children as chair of the DNC? Will that be a policy you'll be supporting?
I am pro-choice, and I trust the judgment of women and their doctors over the judgments of government.
Well, thank you for letting God know where you stand with the murder of the unborn.
I talk to God every day.
Yeah, well, you might want to talk to him a little bit more,
Yeah.
Mr. O'Malley, because you're definitely in the wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.